Alrighty then, my royal chums, it is I, Daniel. You may call me the Pop Culture Dude. And after when I made some 2 uploads of Sonic Movie 3, which, by the way, thank you for making the algorithm go higher where they got like over 2K views compared to my other uploads outside the Knuckles series. But for right now, for my last video for now, until we get like more proper updates for Sonic Movie 3, which obviously, as you can tell, I'm excited for the movie. Go watch my last 2 videos if you haven't seen it. Now I'll be reviewing the merchandise from Jakks Pacific, all the way from the 5-inch Dr. Robotnik figure, but also the minifigs, including that Shadow the Hedgehog plush in the background, and soon we'll be going to an unboxing review, which I've kind of already done that with the second movie, which I will do a comparison by later on this video. But that being said, we'll get straight to the Sonic Movie 3 merch unboxing. But I have an important announcement, and it's not about taking a leak on the moon. I have a very special guest that will be introducing to this video. Let's say hello to our new fuzzy guest that I cannot shut up about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to introduce to Talking Ben.
Ben?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
Just kidding. This is the first female dog that I'll be raising, and her name is Roxy. She's only this a year old, and I'm like, wait a minute. We just adopted this brand new dog. I was like, how about we give her like a proper welcome? Welcome to the Pop Culture Dude channel, Roxy. I think you're definitely going to be like Tom's best friend that you won't shut up about. Hopefully I don't get to see the appeal. I mean, you know what, Roxy? You're giving me some fun ideas. You wait right here. So, you must be Tom's best friend that you won't shut up about. Well, I don't see the appeal. Stop! That is very gross!
Concentrate, Wolf. An attack can come out from any time or anywhere else. You must have steely focus. Stelia. 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 Stelia.
But all joking aside, welcome to the family, Roxy. So glad that you didn't get to bite off their noses or rip off their plushes, or else I would be very upset. But yeah, that being said, guys, welcome Roxy to the channel. I appreciate you for being a guest star and you getting all the love you deserve. And that's why you're definitely just a fuzzy little fuzzball. Anyway, that'll be all for Roxy. Speaking of the plushies, we're just going to start off with the basics. So, we have here the Sonic Movie 2 plushies. The reason why I didn't get the third movie plushies because they're pretty much identical to the plushies that I've owned from the second movie, except they modify Knuckles' nose to look less like an anteater, and they modify Sonic's ears. So, basically, I've already said what I had to say. I do like these plushies from the second movie, so I was like, nah, no point for a third one, except for one exception, and drum roll, please. Chaos Control! I got none other than the Movie Shadow the Hedgehog plush. So you can see by the name tag, they just reused the same renders with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles and that same Shadow face from that second post-credit scene. But it's brilliant but lazy. But I guess these merchandise were released before the trailer was out. But either way, I do like the Movie Shadow plush. Like you see the name tag, including the shoes. I like how the shoes are definitely identical of how he looks like in the trailer, along with the fur. And then you see a little bit more of the back quills, and I'm like, they gotta make a Movie Shadow plush. And luckily they do, so it's like, bro, it's freaking Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog, so I can make it say, I need guns. Lots of guns. But if I had to compare Shadow and the other plushies side by side, I mean, they are like 9-inch, if I can remember, so you can definitely see like Sonic and Shadow conflicting and just be like, what did you do? What I had to. Let's go fight this in a Civil War draw battle. You're on. And then just start playing with the plushie. So this is what he looks like compared to Sonic, and then compared to Knuckles in comparison, yeah, pretty much the same length. Actually, Sonic, I do want to find them. Yeah, I'm gonna break your fist. Ah!
Oh no.
Ah! And then there he is comparing next to Tails, which, yeah, Tails is a lot more floppier, and then you got Shadow on the left. See you later, wimpy fox boy. And even though I don't have a movie Jim Carrey Eggman plush because obviously they're not fished by Jakks Pacific, but there he is next to this Sonic Boom plush I have in comparison. Are you the professor? No, the name is Dr. Robotnik, but my dentist calls me Rob. You're pathetic. And then comparing it to other plushies, we have Shadow the Hedgehog standing next to the Sonic Movie 1 plush that I got all the way back from the first movie. And there he is by the giant Eggman plush and just be like, move aside, Tubby. Ah! And now we move on to the main attraction of why I want to make this video in the first place. I got the 2.5-inch figures of Dr. Robotnik, Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, and Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, originally, I got the Sonic movie figure pack, which has the main characters, including Tails, since Tails is the only character that is not available in this pack for some reason. I think Jakks Pacific wants to do like 4x4 by saying, yeah, we can't use Tails in the 5th one for our first wave. Maybe the next wave, like when the movie gets closer, I don't know. But then you get a little bit more of the backside where you definitely see Sonic, Robotnik, Shadow, and Knuckles as you look a lot more closer with these guys. And I originally was considering getting that 2.5-inch pack. Like, it's similar like this box, but only has like Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow. But the worst thing is, they just reused the Batniks that they got from the last movies, so what's the point? And also, as you know me, I'm a Jim Carrey fanboy, so I'm like, I gotta get myself a miniature-sized Jim Carrey, even if he's not accurate of how he looks in the trailer, and even though it's the same from the last movie, but at least this one is a new improved one. And also, I just want to get new improved figures of Sonic and Knuckles, which I will do a comparison side by side of how they look from their Sonic 2 counterparts, and then I'll include Tails to the mix, and obviously the main selling point with Shadow the Hedgehog. So as I already rotate with the back sides of these characters, I shall be unboxing them. Alrighty then, now we got the 4 Sonic Movie 3 2.5-inch figures standing side by side. Let's go review one by one. How about we start with the blue blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. And if you're getting like these minifigures, whether it's like individual packs or just like the box set that's similar like the one in the back, you're gonna expect the same type of articulation where you can swivel down and be like, hey guys, how you doing? And swivel around the legs. Like, clearly they're not going to be as poseable as the 5-inch figures, which those figures do look cool, by the way. But since I've only owned like the 2.5-inch of the main Sonic characters from the last movie, because why not? Hey, you can actually do the pose like he did in the third movie's trailer where he goes, woohoo! After when the joke where he talks to Tom by be like, it's all in here, in my lungs, in your heart. So it's kind of cool that you can make Sonic do like a running pose. And if I had to compare it to like his second movie counterpart, which, yeah, if you stand them side by side, they are pretty identical of how they look. The one thing I do notice is like they improve one painter, because if you look closely at this one, you could tell that, oh, what do you know, there's a blue mistake. And this time you give Sonic like a more like brighter expression where you get it, like the movie iteration of Sonic is definitely a lot more happier, more energetic, and he's more expressive. So even though they got the eyes more accurate of how he looks, but I just think the smile, just looking back to this, it's kind of lazy because it's just a black line that they can just put in. And it applies, same goes for Knuckles, but we'll get to Knuckles later on. But regardless, seeing them side by side, similar poses, but the one thing that you could tell the difference is he has a hand wide open while Sonic's fists are kind of like clenched if you decide to look at them in comparison. So I think between the two, easily the third one is the best. So I say that's all for the Sonic. So you can have the blue burn. Oh, what do you know? You just knocked down your great nemesis that you'll be teaming up thanks to the movie. And look what you did, Sonic. You just make a mess of everything just because you're too slow. So as long as I can make Sonic stand by to his twin brother, or in this case your clone or whatever. Whatever, just leave them on the ground, doesn't matter. Now we get to Knuckles the Echidna. And then I gotta say, his fists onward. Concentrate, Wolf. You must have steely focus. Victory is ours. So same articulation, just like the last figure, but except I like the face. Like, that's the one thing that they actually got right. If you look at the second movie one, he's definitely more up to your face, and he actually has more of a frown. This one is like more in character with Knuckles, where he has more of a grunt, where he goes, stand still and die with honor. Well, do you know the way? Yes, I do know the way to the Echidna tribe by the great Chief Pachkamak. So as we go by comparison, or even by their boots, like that's one thing. Like this one, like the third movie's a lot more detail. With the second movie, there isn't that much details when it comes to that. Speaking of which, let's look the same for the Sonic figures. Yeah, there's more detail on the shoes, while this one's just plain white. So it's not like the second movie does put too much details on it, which, don't get me wrong, the second movie figures are cool, but I think they improve a lot on Sonic and Knuckles in particular, where they're a lot more better, a lot more smooth. And yeah, this time Knuckles, he definitely has like more wide open arms, where you can make Knuckles do like a T-pose, which you could do the same for the other one. But okay, I just noticed this, like he could raise his arms up a bit higher, while for the other one, it's definitely a lot more clenched. Will be like, huh, you think you could take my power? So basically, I definitely say that the third movie's figure is definitely an improvement. So that'll be all for Knuckles, aka Nipples the Enchilada. And yeah, both of the Sonics cannot stand in one place. But then let's get to the Jim Carrey Robotnik. So like I said, I didn't want to get like the full pack because it'll be a waste, because you already have the exact same Buzz Bomber. So I don't want more Batniks. You could have just put Robotnik and Tails, which for some reason they didn't include Tails yet, maybe the next wave. But then if I compare it to the second movie, if you look a bit closer, they definitely have different facial expressions. Like you could think like the eyebrows are kind of the same, but this was more like which I could definitely tell that the mustache is a lot more darker, while this one's a lot more brighter, which, yeah, pretty identical. You can tell that the goggles is a little bit more on the left, and then you look at the back sides, and yeah, it's more golden in the second movie. And the reason why I want to get a new Robotnik, not just because I love Jim Carrey, because this leg is a bit loose. Like, I don't want to break it in front of the camera. He'll be like, ah, my leg! So basically this figure is a lot more weak compared to this one, so I definitely need a more new and improved one and just be like, let's do this. But the one thing I also noticed is the fact that since, you know, they leaked the merchandise before the trailer, so I was like, wait a minute, they say Jim Carrey's gonna have the fat Eggman body, which we've clearly seen that in the trailer, but for some reason Jakks specifically is like, you know what, we're not sure how we can design this model in toy form, so let's just reuse the exact same figure that we got from the second movie, which, don't get me wrong, I do like the second movie suit, but you know, in the trailer, that's not what he accurately looks like on screen. But regardless, more Jim Carrey minifigs. I'm definitely a lot more happy for how it goes to be. So there you go for Robotnik's figures. So definitely stand a little bit more here, make sure your leg doesn't break. And now we get to the ultimate life form itself, Shadow the Hedgehog, voiced by the legendary Keanu Reeves, bros with National Treasure. So yeah, definitely he's the best figure out of all of them, which I will admit, even though I don't have the 5-inch figure, but the 5-inch figure Shadow looks way better. But this is basically like a miniature sized version of it, which he can articulate. And yeah, look at the shoes, or in this case the air shoes, like when he brings like Sonic down. Okay, I will admit his legs is a bit more harder just to articulate, but you just gotta kick it, just like, you know, where he just skates over. So yeah, can you move his head? Yeah, move it side by side and just be like, when we're done, there won't be anything left. Hey, no cheat codes. So basically, if I make Shadow stand side by side with Sonic and just make them dual, because basically that's what the third movie is based on, Sonic Adventure 2, but also the Shadow the Hedgehog video game. So I will say, definitely, between all of them, Shadow the Hedgehog's definitely the best. And then, even though he's not in this wave, but since Tails is not in the third movie's wave just yet, until, like, I don't know, they make a redesigned version of him, like we said, just like what you could do, you could just make Tails stand over, and then you could definitely, if I remove these guys out the way, and then I could just recreate the scene where basically they're all posing down and they're about to fight Shadow and Tokyo, since that was shown in the trailer, where you see Tails, you see Sonic, you see Knuckles face to face with Shadow, and that's where Knuckles is like,
he's much more impressive than the Hedgehog I fought previously.
dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
Knuckles, no!
I will clench your fist, man. Ah!
My turn. Ah! Can't we just talk about this?
New friends, same pathetic weakness.
So there you have it. That's the 2.5-inch figures of Sonic Movie 3, where you have the Robotniks, you have one Shadow, you got the two Sonics, the two Knuckles, and the one and only Tails from Sonic Movie 2. So if you definitely want to own these for the sake of Sonic Movie collection, or the fact that you definitely want to have the Movie Shadow, which he's definitely the best one, or get the 2.5-inch box set, but technically just reuse the same Badniks, I was like, no, I must have Jim Carrey in my collection, even if he's not that accurate. So I approve having these 2.5-inch figures. They're definitely fun to collect, but also to pose against side by side. Not as much as the 5-inch figures, which, speaking of which, we must get to the 5-inch figure of him. I need room. Found some. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I got the 5-inch scale figure of the one and only Dr. Robotnik, or Eva, whatever you want to pronounce it, doesn't matter. So, of course, the die-hard Jim Carrey fanboy in me is like, look, as much as I want to get the other characters, I mean, come on, I had a good deal of having Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik. And as you can see by comparison side by side, you can notice the differences, not from the packaging, but from the figure, since this is 4-inch, this is 5-inch, but you can tell this one has more articulation than the other one. The only downside is there's no accessories, no bandit drone, no lattes with steam monster goat milk. I love the way you make them! So technically you can notice the difference, but I do like the packaging like a lot better in this one, even though it just reused the renders from the characters in the last movie. But I do love the red and blue because you get the Sonic Adventure 2 influences. But then we go to the back side, which this is what you can see from the second movie, but let's push this one to the side and only focus on the third one. So we get to see Robotnik in the flesh, well, plastic flesh if you prefer. You get Sonic, Tails, and Shadow, which, not gonna lie, I was almost willing to get Shadow, the 5-inch scale. Even though I got the minifigure, I got the plush, but I don't got the 5-inch scale one, which is the only Movie Shadow figure I didn't have. But the reason why I didn't get him, because I'm like, well, I can't say no to Jim Carrey, and he was pretty easy to find. So if I was lucky, I would have got Shadow, but I think there's a much better deal to get Sonic, Tails, Shadow, and Knuckles from the Target exclusive pack, which is not going to be out till October. But regardless, I decided to get Jim Carrey first if I have any second thoughts of getting these guys, plus Knuckles in the Target pack, rather than just, you know, keep them separate. But then we go to Ivor Robotnik that says, Ivor Robotnik proves that you can't keep an evil genius down for long and sets in his sights on world domination. No big deal. I mean, it's like what he said in the trailer. If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. So without further ado, let's unbox the Doctor in the house.
Papa's got a brand new stash.
Ha! Wow, as I'm already feeling it, he definitely feels a lot more rubbery. Like, you could definitely feel in the back jacket, he is a lot more flexible than Jim Carrey Mayhem. And wow, look at the joints. It's definitely Ball Jim, where I could do like a front kick. Ha 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 ha. Like, it definitely like embrace most of the Jim Carrey moves. Like, even the feet he can actually move as well. So definitely, can I move his head? It's more like, now you see me, now you don't. I think he wants to communicate. Look, Ma, I'm roadkill. Ha ha ha. Wow, I can't believe I can actually twist his head. I can switch his body around, and I can make him go full length, just like in The Mask in a way. But either way, even though as much as I'm slightly disappointed that they did not take inspiration from his third movie's look, because that being said, it's exactly how he looks like with the exact same suit, except he stole Stone's, like, his shirts that he just ripped apart in the trailer. But I think Jakks Pacific was like, no, I don't know how could we design that. And I like that they have Ivor Robotnik. I'm like, wait, does that mean are you going to make a figure of Gerald Robotnik in the saggy flesh? I mean, I don't know. It really depends if they'll make a figure of that. I'm betting the next wave is just going to be Knuckles, Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and maybe something for Tails. I don't know. It just really depends. But if this is going to be like the only Robotnik figure, just like what they did with the second movie, then it is what it is. But like I said, I like the articulations that I can make him pose. And he's definitely, like I said, more flexible, more poseable. I can make him go sit down, just be like, are you feeling it, Stone? Oh, I also noticed that his fingers, like, I noticed that he's kind of like doing like a Spider-Man type of pose. And just be like, don't you know, hedgehog? Twip, 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 twip. And I feel like when it comes to articulations, like, I don't think you can really move the finger as much as compared to the other characters from what I saw YouTube videos, but I can already tell that not only this Robotnik figure is an improvement, he is definitely tall, which, by the way, I'm going to compare him to the 4-inch scale Robotnik figure, but also the Wretched Blue Rodent on the right. So here they are side by side between the 4-inch Robotnik figure from Sonic 2 as well as the 4-inch Sonic figure from Sonic 2, which I don't have the figures of Sonic, Tails, and Shadow because, like I said, I'm thinking about it, whether I want to get them individually or maybe in the Target pack where Sonic and Shadow can light up. But anyway, you can definitely see a massive upgrade from the last one, which, don't get me wrong, I do like the one from Sonic 2. He does articulate, but you can tell he does like ha 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 ha. Only does like karate chop actions. Well, for this one, you can definitely make him pose and just be like, yeah, I finally got him. You can make him twist his head, and definitely like the skin tone is definitely more accurate of how Jim Carrey looks. And I will admit, even though they do a good job of managing like their best on Jim Carrey's looks, but I feel like Sonic 3 definitely has it a lot more accurately detailed for now. I mean, he does pose, but it's not like the circle ones that he does. So I still will have a soft spot for this figure, don't get me wrong, but definitely the third movie's figure is like a high improvement. The one thing when it comes to like scaling next to Sonic, he definitely seems more accurately up in the height. Like if you see here side by side, it's like, hey, I'm talking to a Chuck E. Cheese mascot from a furry convention. So it's like, how dare you call me that? But all jokes aside, that's how I kind of see. But if you put the 4-inch Sonic next to the 5-inch Robotnik figure from Sonic 3, you could definitely see they're more in line. Heck, I can even recreate the moment from the trailer where, you know the shot where they're walking out the ring side by side and then he moves side by saying, watch it, dorky pine. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need your help under one condition. Give me your quills. I have a disgusting but delicious fetish for those. Let's do this! So, either way, I definitely say this is a much more improvements for the Robotnik figure. But as for the accessories, which I want to put that in, stay down, you disgusting porcupine. So if I decide to like let Robotnik hold an accessory, kind of like the 4-inch one, Let's take a look if he can hold his latte without spilling it, so then he doesn't have to get angry at 8 stone. No, I don't think he's able to carry on his own. I think it actually works better with this figure because clearly the hands are a lot more open. Yeah, it definitely fits a lot more for this figure. I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong or if I'm right about this, but it is what it is. Here's the thing, I'm never wrong. But either way, I'm going to compare him to the other figures. And here are the figures side by 2.5-inch Robotnik from Sonic 3. Then we got the 4-inch, then we got the 5-inch. So what do you know? It's evolution, Stone. It's evolution! Where we see Mini, then you get to the middle child, then you get to the tallest one of them all. And I know this is not the same Sonic figure from Sonic 3, but I know as you notice from the figure in the back, he's definitely going to be more articulated, kind of like the Mario movie figures, which I will bring Mario in a comparison to that. But then we got the 5-inch scale Sonic that's definitely standing there, just to be like imposed with that. But I feel like this Robotnik definitely fits more with the 4-inch Sonic 2 figures, while for this one definitely fits more in line for the 4-inch ones. Like for instance, the 2.5-inch ones were Robotnik, like literally with small figures. Like this one will fit in high accuracy with these guys, but for him, he's gonna be more accurate to them. It's kind of like, you kind of like little people, get out of my way. So that's where that came from. So either way, I definitely approve the 5-inch ones. Now I'm going to do the Mario figures just for, you know, silly random fun by comparisons by Jakks Pacific. And then I decided to include the Mario Bros. Like, I know they're rivals, but, you know, since they're made by Jakks Pacific and the Sonic Movie 3 toys have this articulation where we're watching you everywhere we go, mamma mia. But just in comparison between the Mario movie merch with the Sonic 2 one, you can definitely tell that Sonic's a lot more shorter. Maybe if I get the Sonic 3 figure, it's going to be more taller. But if I compare it to Robotnik, get out the way, Hedgehog, I don't like you. So if I stand next to Mario, yeah, you're quite the midget. Suck balls, Chris Pratt. Oh, right in the round tables, boy. And then if I decide to bring Luigi up into the case, he's almost as tall as Robotnik, but literally he's like, please don't hurt me, doctor. Oh, don't worry. I'll definitely won't dissect you just because you're not a rodent. But in this case, I will take off that mustache of yours. Ah! But either way, as much as I'm being silly around, this is what Robotnik looks like compared to Mario and Luigi comparison. And of course, the blue boy himself. So I say Luigi's almost as tall as Robotnik, and then Mario's like in second place. And then Sonic, yeah, I feel like the 4-inch one is like more appropriate for this size. And there you have it. You got the third movie merch haul minus the movie Sonic, Tails, Sonic, and Chow for the 5-inch figures because I couldn't afford any. But however, we got Jim Carrey, we got plenty of third movie merchandise. I got all the 2.5-inch figures from the wave, including the Shadow Plush, which I do got Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but I've already showed you guys that. But this is the current Sonic Movie 3-ish collection that I got for now. So do you approve or do you disapprove? Or in this case, Knuckles is about to go throw off the Flames of Disaster! The Flames of Disaster! But all joking aside, definitely approve this figure wave. Who knows if I get the other guys like Sonic, Tails, and Shadow, or even Knuckles for the figure wave. But as time will tell, we'll eventually see. So thank you guys so much for watching for this merch review. Let me know down in the comments. I'll definitely stay tuned for more Sonic Movie 3 updates. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye then.